Hello, thank you guys for following us over to YouTube. So what we're talking about here, we've got a list of 10 items that you can do to your home in preparation to list it or get it sold on the market. And the number one thing we want to talk about is curb appeal. Curb appeal is the first thing people are going to see when they drive up. And we want this property to look like a place to the potential buyer. You want them to pull up and think, well, this is somewhere I'd like to live. This is something nice. So make sure you have curb appeal on your home. Now, I'm not saying that you've decided to sell your home and you should all of a sudden go plant a whole bunch of shrubs and build a water garden or anything like that. But you definitely want to mow the yard, get it weed eated. If there are leaves on the ground, get the leaves raked up. And if you got a bunch of junk laying around or stuff, let's get that stuff hauled off. All right, number two, or the second item on our list, and this one should seem pretty obvious. Before you put your property out there or market it and try to sell it, you want to give it a deep clean. And I'm not talking about a surface cleaning. I'm talking about deep cleaning. Clean it like your mama would. Sinks, under the sinks, showers, tubs, you got to scrub all those things. Believe it or not, a buyer is going to inspect in these places. Yeah, they're going to open your cabinet doors and look inside. So you want things to be clean. We are trying to make an impression here. So make sure you give it a deep clean, because dirty countertops and dusty floors, they leave a bad impression, and we don't want the buyer to leave there with a bad impression. So the obvious one is number two, give your house a deep clean. Number three, or the third item on our list, is declutter. This is going to allow a potential buyer to see the features of the home instead of all the stuff you still have left to pack up and move out. So start thinning out your shelves. If you got a ton of books, thin those out. If you got a ton of movies under the TV, let's thin those out. This will allow the buyer to see what we want them to see instead of having a knick-knack attack. And let's face it, you're moving anyway, and once you start this process, you've already begun to pack. Number four, or the fourth item on our list, and you might think this one is silly, but I'm dead serious. Go buy light bulbs. We want to make sure that every light fixture and every lamp in your house has a working, functional light bulb. So when you bring a potential buyer through your house, you want those lights on, already on. We want them to be able to see everything that this home has to offer. So when I go show a property, I always try to arrive early so that I have time to go through the home and turn those light bulbs on. But occasionally a customer will call me while they're sitting right in front of that house, and they're going to want to see that house right now. So when I arrive at that property, I have to go through with them turning on lights. And guess what? When I turn a light switch on, we want a light to come on. If you were a potential buyer and you were walking through a house and you see a light switch get flipped and no light come on, what are you going to think? Well, probably that it needs a bulb, or that there's electrical issues, and we don't even want a buyer to have that train of thought. So do yourself a favor prior to putting it on the market and go buy light bulbs. Number five, get your tool belt out or go hire a handyman. So what we want to do here, we want to make sure everything and anything that needs attended to in the home is done prior to the listing. Think locks, squeaky doors, broken appliances, runny faucets, running toilet, cracks in the wall, anything that needs attended to, we want to go ahead and get those things knocked out. They're going to be found in the inspections anyway, so let's go ahead and knock them out right now before we get the property listed. A lengthy list of items that need attended to is going to be a turnoff for a lot of buyers. Number six, let's paint. So we've got everything working well. It's nice and clean on the inside. Pictures are off the walls. Go ahead and patch those nail holes and get ready to paint. Those red accent walls have to go. Let's stick with whites, beiges, grays. These colors are warm and inviting, and they also make the property look bigger and brighter. What we're doing with this step is providing the potential buyer with a blank slate. As they walk through the home, they have their own ideas because it's all clean and freshly painted. All right, we're on number seven. What we want to do here is depersonalize the home. This means putting away our photos. Get those photos off of the wall, off of the shelves, and store them away. Time to pack them up for the move anyway. What we actually want to do here is strike a balance between depersonalizing a home and presenting a home that's nice and warm and inviting. So it's okay if you want to leave a few pieces of framed art or even photos, but let's get a bunch of that stuff off of the walls and off the shelves and get them put up. Live in, vacant, stage, or rent is what I'm calling step number 8. So the steps leading up to number 8, we've got the house ready and prepared and basically set this stage as if it's a home that you're currently living in. So if you're living in the home, you're all set. If you follow those steps, you're getting close to being ready to put this property on the market. But what if you've already moved out, or what if you have a renter or something like that? We're going to discuss those things in this step. So if you have already moved out, remember that we're trying to create a warm and inviting, lived-in looking home. So we want all the decluttering and everything, but if you've moved out or are in the process of moving out before you list or put your property on the market, you want to leave a few staging pieces back. That'll help it give that lived-in look and warm feeling, as well as, you know, a house with furniture in it shows better than just an empty house. So let's leave a few pieces of furniture back. Let's leave a couple of items on the wall even, and have it prepared to stage. Now, that takes care of lived in and vacant, or if you're moving out. I'm kind of going to throw this in there because I deal with it a lot. What if it's a property that you currently have a renter in? So this is something for you to consider. Put yourself in those shoes. Yes, this is your piece of property. You own it. But what you are selling is that person's home. And typically a renter doesn't want you to sell their home. So this makes the selling process super difficult. From scheduling to getting inside and showing your people. Those people, if they're the ones that are there when your buyers come through, they're going to list every defect that that home has ever had, and they're probably going to create some too. And just forget about the property being cleaned or the yard being mowed. So if it's being rented, it might be a good idea just to consider getting those people moved out before you put it on the market. All right, number 9, and we're wrapping this list up quick here. So what you want to do now, because you've done all the physical work, now there's just a little bit of research to be done. You want to familiarize yourself with the market. Get to know your neighborhood. What houses have been put up for sale this year? What were they listed at? What did they sell for? What was the average days on the market for those homes? What was the square footage compared to your house? How big is their lot? How big is your lot? You want to compare your house to these houses that have been selling around you and just help get yourself familiar with the market. It's also going to help you have a good idea of what the value on your property is worth. All right, number 10, and the final item on our list is hire a professional photographer. We live in the digital age, and let's face it, people are going to get most of the information about your property sitting in the comfort of their own home. Before they call you or before they call me, they want to gather as much info as they can sitting at home. And a lot of that information is going to come from the pictures that you put online. So you want to hire a professional and get good, clear, crisp, quality pictures to put online. So listen, that's the end of our list, and if you've hung in there through the end of it, we appreciate it. And if you like it, give us a like or subscribe to the page, because we're going to have more information coming for you guys. Have a good one.